What's up? What's up with it? Y'all already know what it is. You tuned into another episode of Everything Boxing. There you go, talking that boxing again. And yeah, when you come in the building, make sure that you smash on my like button and make sure that you sub to the channel if you're not a sub already. And jump in the comment section and let me know you in the building. Oh, yes, sir. A lot of news in boxing, a lot of things going on. We gonna cook on. A lot of things going on. Some fights that's out there that we gonna talk about if they get made or not. Hopefully all of these big fights that's been out here, hopefully they get made and it's just not talk. So let's talk about it today as we come in the building. Cassandra Mason in the building, the queen. What's going on with it, Cassandra? Coming in from that Cincinnati. And speaking of Cincinnati, Ohio, prayers out for AB. Prayers out for Adrian Broner. It wasn't a lot of news on it, but Adrian Broner, he was in the hospital messed up. Adrian Broner, he was in the hospital messed up. I heard it was from alcohol poisoning. He had, Adrian Broner, he going through a lot of things. So let's hope that AB get back on his feet, man. Let's hope that AB get back on his feet. Cassandra Mason, let me see. Chris Mitchell off in the building. What's happening with it, fam? Rob Shaquille, what's happening with it? Dominique Horton, what's good with it? And as y'all come in the building, make sure that you smash on my like button. Let's talk about AB, as we got people coming in the building. So Adrian Broner, he had put it out there before recently, after his last fight, that a lot of the problems that he has is because he sits around and he don't have no fights. He sit around for months and months and months at a time, and Al Haymon not getting him no fights. Now, with that being said, do you think that Al Haymon is to blame for that, or is it Adrian Broner to blame for that? And some could say, well, if Adrian Broner was fighting on a consistent basis, if he was getting fights on a consistent basis, maybe he wouldn't, have so much free time. Maybe he wouldn't be getting in so much trouble. What y'all think about that? Do you think that if Adrian Broner had a consistent fight schedule, if he was fighting on a consistent basis, a lot of the trouble that he's been getting into, it wouldn't be happening? Let me know what y'all think about that situation before we, start up the show and everything. Robert Pitch, what's happening with it? He says, I hope Errol knock out the steroid residue out of Manny ass. He said he hope Errol knock the steroid residue out of Manny. You crazy as hell. Hey, D-Man Jr., what's happening with it? Salute. So, while we come in the building, I want to know what y'all think about that. Do y'all think that the PBC is part to blame, that Adrian Broner has so much time on his hands, and that's why he gets in so much trouble, and that's why he, developed a strong drinking problem and all of that? Or do you think, shit, that's just on him? Rob Shaquille says, I think he can balance the party life and wanting to work hard. Bumpy Thompson says he was out here begging for help. He was, man. He was. And one of the things that he asked for is can I just get a fight date? He said, can I get a fight date? So, and then I want to ask another question with that. Do you think that if Adrian Broner was with another promoter, like, say, Eddie Hearn, you remember when Eddie Hearn came in with DAZN? You feel me? When Eddie Hearn came in with DAZN, and he offered AB to go over there with him. Do you think if Adrian Broner had went with another promoter like Eddie Hearn, that he would be a lot more active, that his career wouldn't have turned the way it did? Because that's something to really ask. These fighters, you know, they young, they from the streets, they already wild, especially somebody like Adrian Broner. You would think that you would want to keep him active so he wouldn't be in trouble so much. Keep him to where he has to be in the gym. Or do you think, you know, they was like, man, F it, I'm fed up with AB. We'll get him a fight when we get him a fight. Rob Shaquille said if he was with Eddie Hearn, he would for sure have more fights. Yeah, man, that's the thing. Chris Mitchell said AB has no self-discipline. Yeah, right. But check this out. So I'm gonna ask this question, right? Because we all know that AB has no self-discipline. I'm pretty sure that the people on the PBC that make the matches and Al Hammond and all of them, they know AB a lot better than we do. They know what they're dealing with. So do you think that if they really, really wanted to look out for AB and help him, do you think that they would have put him, make sure, okay, let's keep this man active. Let's keep him in the ring so he stays out of trouble. You know, we know he don't have no self-discipline. So let's keep him focused. Let's keep him in the ring so he don't have so much time on his hands. I'm saying if you really care about somebody, if you really like, man, this dude, we know his head ain't right. So let's have him focused. Let's keep him focused. In a fighter, that's a fighter like AB, you know, fighters in the past like Zab Judah, and fighters that tell you the only thing that'll really, really keep them out of the streets and focused is having a fight, knowing. You know, AB complained about that. He said, you know, when I got so much time on my hands and I don't know when I'm going to get a fight, I have no idea, you know, hey, I get to messing up. I get to fucking up. We know that AB, he got wife and kids and all that, and I'm not going to get in that man's personal business, but it seems the only thing that keeps him level-headed is having a fight, staying in the gym, knowing that he got a fight coming up. Dominique Horde says AB should be calling people out for fights. I would watch AB versus Danny Garcia. But it's kind of like this, man. You put AB in the ring with somebody like Danny Garcia, and this is another thing, you know, in defense to PBC and Al Hammond. It's like, okay, even if we did keep him active, who would we put him in the ring with? Because he don't got it no more. You put him in the ring with Danny Garcia, it's going to look really bad. He's either going, I ain't going to say he's going to get stopped, but AB is going to go into survival mode. And plus, I mean, him and Danny, I wouldn't say him, because him and Danny, they friends and shit. So that fight wouldn't even look like it's supposed to look, I don't think, you know. But it's hard. Who can you put him in the ring with? He didn't fought a lot of the big names. He already didn't fought Sean Porter. Who else he fought? He fought Mikey Garcia. He didn't fought guys like Adrian Granados. He didn't fought guys like Jesse Vargas. I mean, he didn't fought a lot of the names. So it's kind of like you want to help him, but then who do you put him in the ring with? You can't put him in the ring with no Regis Progress. He already basically said he don't want no smoke with Regis Progress. His coach said that. I mean, who you going to put him in the ring with? And he's a fighter that he not going to take no chump change. You seen they put him in the ring with a no-name, a low-tier, no-name fighter last fight, and he really lost that fight. So, you know, to their defense, he calling out like, man, keep me in the ring, give me somebody. But then when somebody comes up and they calling you out like Regis Progress, well, you don't want that smoke. And then when they give you a fight with a low-tier fighter that you're supposed to go in there and knock out, you struggle and you really lost that fight. Look what Gary Antoine Russell did to, what's his name, Santiago. I think that was his name. Yeah, look what Gary Antoine Russell did to Santiago, the last fighter that AB fought. Look what he did to him. Gary Antoine Russell, he went in there and destroyed him. He destroyed him. Then afterwards, he called out Adrian Broner. You didn't hear nothing from Adrian Broner. So it's kind of like, Yeah, you want them to keep you active so you can stay out of trouble because you realize yourself that you don't have discipline if you don't have boxing, right? So that's cool, and I feel you. But at the same time, it's like when you got these guys calling you out, you don't want no smoke with them no more. Because I think Adrian Broner, no matter what he tells y'all when he talks, I don't think that he has the confidence in himself no more either. So I think that leads to a lot of, his problems outside of the ring because he's starting to face that, like, man, I don't think I got it no more. And that's why I stress on fighters to live a fighter's lifestyle. It's only so much partying and drinking and abusing your body you can do before it catches up to you and you really start looking washed up. It's only so much you can do. Like, I know my man said that you can balance the partying and boxing, but look, you only got a short career. You only got a short career, in any sport, basketball, football. That's your job. And getting paid as much as they do once you at that top level, you got to take that stuff serious. You don't need to be trying to party and drink and get pissy drunk and then try to be a fighter because that's not living a fighter's lifestyle. You only got a short career. Do what you do your best, live a fighter's lifestyle, keep all of that shit out of your body for the short time you in the sport. And then once you retire, you'll retire. You can retire with a lot of money. And then you can get to the party and you're still young. Imagine if Adrian Broner, right? Imagine if Adrian Broner had been able to be disciplined, do all of that stuff and have a 12-year career. He'd be about retiring right now. He's still young. He'd be almost retiring right now. He's still young. He still got plenty of time to do what he has to do. All the partying. He got all of the time. But, it's unfortunate that a lot of these fighters, they don't have nobody to really sit them down and, guide them and tell them that. They just give them a whole bunch of money at a young age because they think they got some talent and they go ahead and go out there. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and kill yourself. Basically, that's what it is. Go ahead and destroy yourself. A lot of men, a lot of young men at that age, at 22, 23, they don't got no discipline like that. I didn't have discipline like that. And I know a lot of people that's watching, y'all didn't have no discipline like that to have millions of dollars, into just be focused. I mean, the ones that do, that's why we see them on another level, like the Floyd Mayweathers, the Roy Jones, the Terrence Crawfords, and so on. That's why we see them on another level because they are able to have discipline, or some of them didn't have discipline, but they was able to catch it at the right time. Like Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, he used to do things to his body, but he was able to catch it at an early enough age to where it was like, okay, you know what? I got to change some shit around. Adrian Broner, he 30 plus, and he's still doing the same thing that he was doing when he was 22. And to tell you the truth, he was a lot more. I'm not even going to say that because I think Adrian Broner kind of went backwards. When he was younger, he was a lot more disciplined. You know what I'm saying? But soon as he got that big payday, I think everything changed for Adrian Broner when he beat Antonio DeMarco. Because after that, we start seeing Adrian Broner. He's going on rap tours and all of that other stuff. And, from there, it was kind of downhill. But, man, I really was one of the people that was, riding for AB because we needed somebody like AB with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was a showman. We had Roy Jones. You know what I'm saying? Roy Jones, people live to see Roy Jones. People live to see Roy Jones, the things that he would say and do before the fight, his entrance, all of the showmanship, right? When Roy Jones declined, when Roy Jones started to decline, we had Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather gave us that, and he did it on a whole another level, right? He raised the bar. And then as Floyd Mayweather was getting out of the sport, Adrian Broner popped in, and everybody was looking for that next big name. That next big name that was, whether you hated him or loved him, that was going to give us big events to watch, that was going to, make us laugh and put on a show while doing it. And AB was supposed to be that one. AB was supposed to be that one. And all he had to do is stay focused and, continue to train and get better. I don't know what it was with the people. He had to, for one, he had the wrong people around him. Even his trainer, I like Mike Stafford, but let's keep it real. Mike Stafford, it looked like that he was just glad to be a part of famous, professional fighter that put him on another level to get more money than he had, because Mike Stafford was on he was never on the professional level like that. He was on in the amateurs. Adrian Broner is the one that brought him to that professional level and gave him a name. So I think he was bad for AB too, because AB needed somebody like a Kevin Cunningham that was like, man, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. You gonna do this or you gonna leave. Mike Stafford wasn't like that. He was able to run over Mike Stafford and everybody else around him. It was just bad, And man, I don't like it, because I think that we was robbed of having somebody else that was going to take it to another level on the entertainment level than what Floyd Mayweather did, And let me read this super chat real quick. Dominique Horton, in that super chat, he says, facts. Man, I appreciate that super chat, man, coming through, always showing love. And my brother, DP Rocker, he says, salute, Keon. That's why Floyd left him. Yeah, man. And salute to DP Rocker, man. It's just an unfortunate situation when I think about, man, what Adrian Broner could have been. And then we look at him now. We looked at him, not too long ago. He was laid up in the hospital bed. Before that, he was crying for help. And it's just a sad situation, man, that, I know Floyd tried to take him under his wing, but Floyd Mayweather wasn't necessarily the right person to be trying to mimic his lifestyle into, Floyd Mayweather taking him under his wing for a little bit. I don't think that was the right, it wasn't the right person for AB. It just wasn't, because y'all got to think Floyd Mayweather lived a lavish lifestyle. Floyd Mayweather's discipline is just on another level to where he can live that lifestyle and not put no poison in his system. Like, you think that Floyd Mayweather taking AB to the clubs around all these women and all type of shit, putting him in that, you can't expect him not to go crazy seeing all of that, right? Look at Tank Davis. Tank Davis was doing the same thing. And Tank Davis admitted, like, man, I was trying to live a lifestyle of Floyd Mayweather. So, yeah, you saying you taking them guys under your wing, but then what are you really doing for them in the long run? Because they seeing you do all of this. They don't have the same discipline that you do. That's like, right? That's like a person, right? Not drinking. Like, I'm not no big drinker, right? I'm not a big drinker, but that's just like me throwing an extravagant party with all type of liquor and then bringing one of my partners with me, and I know that they're a recovering addict, a recovering alcoholic, and putting them right in front of that situation and doing it night in and night out. And it don't bother me because, I'm not no drinker like that. It's not going, but it's going to do something else to them. And so, but we can't blame it on Floyd, but it's just, man, it's an unfortunate situation. It's an unfortunate situation. And I only wish the best for AB, even though I know he's washed up in the ring, but hey, it is what it is, man. Renee Box Young, what's happening with it? He say, Tank Davis seemed to be waking up to being more disciplined and wise lately. Yeah, right. And it has a lot to do with who you have around you. We seen all them dudes with AB, and I'm not taking no shots at them, but All of them dudes was lingering around AB, and they was just happy. They was street dudes that was just happy to be in the limelight with Adrian Broner. You know, and he's admitted that. You seen that. Them dudes was riding on AB coattail. All they wanted to do was party and do everything that Adrian Broner shouldn't have been doing. That's all they was worried about. And they, you know, Adrian Broner was right along with the ride because, you know, he was still a kid in the head. He had the mentality of a kid still. You know, he wasn't mature. He wasn't mature enough to deal with those situations. And that's what it really is, you know. You could call it mental health issues or whatever. He just wasn't mature enough to deal with those situations. Some people mature at a lot older age than other people. I mean, some people take a lot longer to mature than other people do. Klaus Lucerin says, I hear you, but perhaps Floyd putting AB in those situations was the right thing, just a thought. I'm not saying that it was a wrong thing on his part he was trying to do it, you know, out of spite. I don't think that Floyd realized that, but that wasn't the right thing. It wasn't the right situations for a person like Adrian Broner to be in. It just wasn't. You know what I'm saying? You like I said, just because you don't have a drinking problem, why would you take one of your partners, you know, to a bar every night when you know he got a drinking problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a situation that might not bother me because I have control over it, but he might not. And that's the situation that AB was in. Renee Bashan says, I'm guessing Floyd would try mentoring AB, but I think AB wasn't having it. Yeah, that could be the case, but it's like the same time you're trying to tell him you need to do this and you need to do that, right? But you putting him in certain situations where he don't need to be in. You see what I'm saying? So you live in a lifestyle where you partying every night, you going to strip clubs, you having all of this stuff around you, Floyd. But Floyd is different because he can have all that stuff around him. It don't affect him, right? And at the same time, you putting all this stuff right in front of AB's face, but then you telling him, like, you know, you need to focus and you need to do this. You don't need to worry about this, but it's right in front of him. And then you taking him and you want him to party with you, Floyd, because he's fun and he the life of the party, just like you. But then at the same time, you trying to take him and say, you need to do this, you need to do that. That's a conflict of interest. It's a conflict of interest. Klaus Lucerne, are you joking saying that you never knew that AB had a drinking problem? Are you serious? I don't know. Are you playing with me? Or are you serious? Yeah, that's amazing that Floyd don't drink, but you know, Andre Ward never drank, and Roy Jones Jr., he never drank. Roy Jones Jr. never drank or smoked. Are you serious? Yeah, man. AB has a serious drinking problem. And like I said, I don't talk about these fighters' personal lives, but I'm saying this because it's known. Like, AB has let everybody know that he has a serious drinking problem. But he also says that when it's time to train, he knows how to stop. But I think he kind of in denial because, you know, it is what it is. Brown on Boxing says, Manny and Freddie sounded like Gotti and Buddy before the Floyd fight. Yeah, man, we gonna talk about that too. So everybody, we got 62 people in the building as of right now, 63. Make sure that everybody hit my like button so we can start cooking. Everybody make sure that y'all hit my like button, please, and thank you. It don't cost you nothing to hit the like button. So let me find, hold on. So let's talk about, I want to start off by talking about, you know, a video that I made, Joseph Diaz, Jojo Diaz, and Devin Haney. Let's talk about that for a minute. You know, let's talk about Jojo Diaz and Devin Haney. So we all, if you don't know the backstory with Jojo Diaz and Devin Haney, right? Jojo Diaz he fought Javier Fortuna his last fight. And the only reason that Jojo Diaz fought Javier Fortuna his last fight is because Ryan Garcia was supposed to fight Javier Fortuna. And Ryan Garcia, you know, he had to step out of the fight. He had to step back away from the fight because he said he had mental health issues, right? He was going through some things. So he didn't feel that he was fit to, you know, get in the ring against no fighter, let alone Javier Fortuna. So Joseph Diaz, he stepped up. And we know Joseph Diaz is a fighter that's coming from 126 pounds. He fought Gary Russell and gave Gary Russell a tough fight. You know, so Joseph Diaz said, man, don't nobody want to fight Javier Fortuna. At the time, Devin Haney, he already had a fight scheduled with Linares, or he already had fought Linares. So he was just coming off a fight, right? So Jojo Diaz said, look, man, I want all the smoke with all these dudes. I'm coming to 130 to 135. I'm sorry. Joseph Diaz, he had went from 126. I think he had a couple fights or maybe one fight at 130, and then went all the way up to 135, right, to fight Javier Fortuna. He said, I want to smoke. I want to smoke with Javier Fortuna. So Javier Fortuna and Joseph Diaz, they fought for the mandatory position for Devin Haney's WBC strap. That's what they were fighting for. We know that Joseph Diaz won that fight. He beat Javier Fortuna. A lot of people was saying that they thought Javier Fortuna won that fight. I don't know how. To me, Joseph Diaz beat Javier Fortuna clear. You know what I'm saying? He won the fight by unanimous decision. He beat him clearly. So after, everybody was looking for Joseph Diaz to get on the mic and call out Devin Haney, because before he fought Javier Fortuna, Joseph Diaz said, look, when I beat Javier Fortuna, I'm going straight after Devin Haney. But Joseph Diaz got on the mic and he called out Ryan Garcia first, and then he called out Devin Haney. But he called both of their names, right? So we like, where the hell Ryan Garcia come in at? And you know, everybody on the zone, they tried to everybody on the zone that night, if you go back and look at the telecast, they tried to overlook Devin Haney. They didn't even want Joseph Diaz to mention Devin Haney's name. You know what I'm saying? He talked about Devin Haney a little bit, but they didn't even say nothing. They kept asking him about Ryan Garcia. Yeah, let's see if we can make the Ryan Garcia this, Ryan Garcia that, right? So when the media comes out and the stories come out that Joseph Diaz is working on the fight with Ryan Garcia behind the scenes. Mike Carpenter comes out with this Ryan Garcia shit. Like, you know, they're close to making it happen. Ryan Garcia and Joseph Diaz, they working behind the scenes. So, you know, we all like, what the hell going on? What's really going on? Joseph Diaz told us that he was going straight after Devin Haney. What does Ryan Garcia have to offer? Ryan Garcia ain't got no belt. Devin Haney is the WBC champ. So it started to look like that, damn, we got another fighter that's about to duck Devin Haney once again. Another fighter that's going to do the same thing that all of these other dudes is doing, talking real loud, and then when the time comes, they want to duck Devin Haney. So, you know, we thinking that because that's the reports that's coming out. All the reports that's coming out is nobody's talking. None of these dudes in the mainstream media put out not one report about Devin Haney behind the scenes, right? Everything was Ryan Garcia and Jojo Diaz. So I heard this shit and I got pissed off. Well, recently, Jojo Diaz, you know, being a real one, he said, man, look, let me dead all of this Ryan Garcia shit. First, he gets on live. I think he was on, I don't know what it was on. It might have been on the Boxing Voice, right? First, he gets on live and he gets on with Bill Haney. And him and Bill Haney gets to chopping it up. And he let Bill Haney know right off the rip, look, man, all this Ryan Garcia talk, I don't want to fight Ryan Garcia. I want to fight for that WBC strap. I want to fight your son. And so Bill Haney and Jojo Diaz, they came to a verbal agreement. Like, yeah. And it's crazy because Joseph Diaz, he also put Mike Carpenter on blast. He put Mike Carpenter on blast. All of the stories that's been coming out have been by Mike Carpenter. All of this Ryan Garcia and Jojo Diaz and JoJo Diaz said, look, man, I ain't heard nothing from Ryan Garcia or his team. We haven't talked to Ryan Garcia or his team. The only person that hit us up about a Ryan Garcia fight is Mike Carpenter. Mike Carpenter, he contacted, he contacted me and he let me know that, Ryan Garcia and his team is looking for a fight with me. But he was like, I ain't heard nothing from Ryan Garcia or his team. So we saw right there what the mainstream media dudes was trying to do, right? They trying to put out news and they trying to do everything they could do to basically, blackball Devin Haney from getting these big fights. That's what it is. He ain't put out no story about Devin Haney, putting out stories that, that JoJo Diaz and Ryan Garcia are in deep talks to fight next and all of this shit. It ain't said nothing about Devin Haney. And then when you talk to JoJo Diaz said, man, ain't nobody hit me up. The man that's putting out the stories is the only one that's hit me up about a Ryan Garcia fight. And he's nothing but a fucking media writer. He ain't a part of none of these guys' camps. But he's hitting JoJo Diaz up talking about they want to make a fight so he can make a fucking story and take food off of Devin Haney's plate. That's essentially what he was doing, is he was taking food off of Devin Haney's plate, because you run with the story, you keep saying Ryan Garcia this and Ryan Garcia, and then people forget about Devin Haney. The casual fans, they forget about Devin Haney. And see, it's a dirty game. These media guys, the old media, it's a dirty game. You see how they did Devin Haney. And imagine how many other fighters they do that. But see, I got to salute Joseph Diaz, because he was real enough to get on live with Bill Haney and clear all of that shit up. And so recently after that, right, last night, Joseph Diaz, he actually took to his Instagram live. He took to Instagram live and he said, look, yeah, I talked to his pops face to face, but I want to talk to Devin Haney. So he starts sending Devin Haney invites on Instagram Live. He even called Devin Haney a pussy, but I think it was just more of shit talk. And he said that he kept sending the invite to Devin Haney. Devin Haney didn't accept the invite, but he said that Devin Haney was probably sleeping. And he said that he was like, man, Devin Haney's probably sleeping, so it is what it is. I'm gonna get back on tomorrow and I'm gonna send Devin Haney another invite, because he said, I want to talk everything that I've been saying, right, in the media, in the public or whatever. I want to say it to Devin Haney's face. I want Devin Haney to know that I want to smoke with Devin Haney. I'm not like none of these other fighters. I'm not running from Devin Haney. I want that smoke. And so, I like that, man. I love it. I love that JoJo Diaz is finally, right, out of all these young fighters, because yeah, we could talk about Jorge Linares, but Jorge Linares is at the end of the road. He ain't really have nothing to losing to Devin Haney. Joseph Diaz is still a young up and coming fighter, a former heavyweight champion. Joseph Diaz, to me, he's better than Jorge Linares is right now at this point in his career. So yeah, he got a lot to lose. Joseph Diaz is actually another fighter that got a lot to lose. You know what I'm saying? If he loses to Devin Haney, that's going to take his career down, right? So he got a lot to lose. So finally, we seeing a fighter that has something to lose, stepping up to the plate and doing what they said that they was going to do, right? And like I said, he tried to call Devin Haney on Instagram, right? Teofimo Lopez, when that shit was going down with Teofimo, he ain't trying to get at. He was on Instagram talking a whole bunch of shit about Devin Haney, but he ain't never tried to get on Instagram and send Devin Haney an invite, because he could have easily sent Devin Haney an invite. You know what I'm saying? You sitting up there gossiping with Rolly. You sitting up there back and forth gossiping with Rolly. Well, instead of going on Instagram gossiping about the man, won't you shoot that man an invite, just like JoJo Diaz did? And speaking of Rolly Romero, he been calling out Devin Haney, and he's really been calling out Devin Haney. But Rolly is a to me, I like his toughness. I like the heart that he has, and I like the, let me say, the confidence that he has in himself, Rolly Romero. But Rolly will, like, come on now, man. Come on now, really? And he being very disrespectful. Rolly is being very disrespectful. Disrespectful. He calling Devin Haney all types of pussies and scared and all type of shit. But Devin Haney will beat the brakes off of Rolly Romero. Rolly, like, he better go down. He better go and sit down somewhere. Rolly better go and sit down somewhere. And I'm gonna tell you like this. If they put Rolly in the ring with Devin Haney, a lot of people say that Devin Haney ain't got no power, and he don't have the best of power. But I'm gonna tell you like this: he gonna stop Rolly. He's stopping Rolly. If Rolly get in the ring with Devin Haney, he's gonna get stopped. Power or no power, he gonna get stopped. Because Rolly, he's right there to be hit. He don't have no defense. He don't have no technique, and he gonna get his ass stopped. And he might get knocked cold out. But yeah, man, as far as JoJo Diaz, I like how he moving, man. I've always liked how JoJo Diaz move. JoJo Diaz has been a fighter that's always shown that he want all the smoke. Look, he got in there with Gary Russell when didn't nobody want to get no smoke with Gary Russell. So you got to respect JoJo Diaz and take him for a man of his word, because he ain't never showed you no different. Now, he did get in there and he did call out Ryan Garcia along with Devin Haney, but I think the Ryan Garcia thing is pretty much what the Zone wanted. The Zone wanted him to get in there and call out Ryan Garcia, because you seen how it played out on the whole telecast. They was talking about Ryan Garcia the whole time. They got on the microphone asking him about Ryan Garcia. So, you know, you seen how that played out. My man Dalton Voss, what's happening with it? John Kramer, what's good with it? Roderick Thompson, what's happening with it? PLG Ski, what's good with it? Bumpy Thompson, what's happening with it? My man, Knockout Boxing 86 TV in the building. Make sure that y'all go sub to Knockout Boxing 86 TV. Knockout Boxing 86 TV. Make sure that you go sub to him. And my man, Scotty White, World Combat Sports off in the building. Make sure that y'all go sub to my man, Scotty White, World Combat Sports. Go show him some love. He out there in the field doing big things, as of always. Wawa 930-2010. What's happening with it? Let me see who else I missed in the building. Yes, sir. So Sheena, the queen, Sheena in the building. What's going on with it, Sheena? And Dalton Voss says Rolly versus Barrios. Man, Rolly will get the shit beat out of him by Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios' boxing skills is too much for Rolly, and he will get knocked out. Like, Rolly can't beat none of these. If you got boxing skills and you got somewhat footwork, Rolly can't beat you. If you, you know, at least a B-class fighter. Now, if he can go in there, if you probably a lower level, C minus level fighter, and he can bully you, yeah, he gonna go in there, he gonna bulldoze you over. But he get in the ring with any of these top tier fighters, or, you know, even B-level fighters, he getting stopped, or he gonna get whooped for 12 rounds. He don't got it like that. He don't got it. I was watching him hit the heavy bag, and it's like, man, he do so many things wrong. It's crazy how many things that he do wrong if you just watch him train and hit the heavy bag and everything. Like, man, he picking his whole foot up off the ground. Like, he throw hooks and he throws straights and jabs, and he picks his whole back foot up off the ground. It's like, man, this dude is I'm talking about like he throwing a baseball pitch. He picking his whole back foot up off the ground like he throwing a baseball pitch. I'm like, this dude look pitiful. But like I said, what he does have, he has grit, he has determination, and he has the utmost confidence in himself. So I can't, you know, I can't knock him for having that, but he just don't got the skills. No, Rolly is a 135-pound fighter. He should be at 140. He a big kid. Rolly is a big-ass kid. Wendell Jackson says Teofimo vacates. Haney versus Kambosos for the IBF strap. I don't think they'll put Haney versus Kambosos. I don't even think if Devin Haney is ranked in the IBF. But yeah, man, Mike Ryan, what's happening with it? Diverse conscious, what's happening with it? But yeah, man, so I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna just, you know, salute my man. I'm gonna just give a salute to Devin Haney and Joseph Diaz, right? Because they showing that they both want to smoke, and hopefully we get this fight made. Hopefully we get this fight made, and it's gonna be a hell of a fight. And you know, it's gonna be a hell of a fight. Hey, man, somebody get this weirdo up out of here, man. Get this dude up out. Hey, the wrenches. Get this dude up out of here. Somebody get this fucking weirdo up out of my chat. But yeah, so what else is going on, man? Canelo Alverez. Let's talk about Canelo. Canelo Alverez, you know, he been training. He been in there. He been in there training. I said, man, if y'all gonna have wrenches, get this dude up out of here. Yeah, come on now. I gave y'all wrenches for a reason. Hold on, let me get him up out of here myself if don't nobody want to get him up out of here. Hold on. Nobody want to get him up out of here. Hold on. Okay, Bumpy Thompson, appreciate that, man. Get that clown up out of here, man. Appreciate that. Okay, so we seen Canelo Alvarez, right? Canelo Alvarez has been training, right? He's been training hard and you know, they trying to make a fight with him and Caleb Plant. Him and Caleb Plant, you know, hopefully they have a big showdown on September the 16th, I think it is. Or no, is it the 19th? September the 19th, right? And that's Mexican Independence holiday weekend, right? Now, as we just seen sparring footage with Canelo Alvarez sparring Ronald Ellis. Now, if y'all don't know who he was sparring, Ronald Ellis is the fighter that just fought David Benavidez last. It's the 18th. Yeah, September the 18th. Matthew Valentine, salute to you, Matthew. And salute to Elliot Burgess. Yeah, so September the 18th, right? Now, he was sparring Ronald Ellis, and Ronald Ellis is the fighter that actually just fought David Benavidez in David Benavidez's last fight, right? And Ronald Ellis, he gave David Benavidez a lot of work. He gave David Benavidez a lot of work, you know. David Benavidez ended up winning. He beat him by, you know, he beat him by a long shot. And y'all make sure that y'all hit my like button. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the building, if you haven't hit the like button yet, make sure that y'all hit my like button. So Ronald Ellis, he was giving David Benavidez some work in that fight. He hit David Benavidez with basically everything in the kitchen sink. But the only thing is Ronald Ellis didn't have no power to do anything to David Benavidez. And while I'm talking, I'm going to bring Ronald Ellis's resume up because he looked good in that David Benavidez fight. And David Benavidez is one of the only fighters that people are picking to beat Canelo Alvarez. I don't pick David Benavidez to beat Canelo Alvarez because he get hit too much. But at the same time, David Benavidez is a problem. Ronald Ellis ended up getting stopped by David Benavidez late in that fight. But David Benavidez, like I said, Ronald Ellis gave David Benavidez a lot of problems. So we recently seen sparring footage come out with Ronald Ellis fighting Canelo Alvarez. And I'm going to try to pull up the sparring footage for y'all, for the ones who didn't see it. You know, for y'all who did see it. And while I'm pulling this up, make sure that y'all hit my like button. Make sure that y'all smash on my like button. Hold on, I'm going to pull this up for y'all real quick. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Might have to go to blue. Here it is. I'm gonna have to go to blue, because I couldn't find the spar footage, but I'm gonna go to Blue Blood and show y'all. He had it up on his. Y'all can see it. Now, you see the sparring footage, right? A lot of people, they taking that and they running with it. They saying, you know, Canelo was getting touched up. Canelo was getting his ass beat. We ain't seen Canelo look like that. It's even an article I read, and I'm going to read the article to y'all. Watch. A lot of people is taking, so I want to get y'all take on this, because like I said, a lot of people is talking about this, saying that Canelo was getting his ass beat. You know, let me see. And where is this article? So this is what the article says. Canelo Alvarez getting worked over by Ronald Ellis in sparring, right? So that's the shit. That's the clip that I showed y'all. The article says Canelo Alvarez getting worked over by Ronald Ellis in sparring. It says, in the leaked sparring video this week, Canelo Alvarez took a lot of punishment from Canelo Alvarez took a lot of punishment from David Benavidez's recent knockout victim, Ronald Ellis, right? It says, having accustomed to seeing Canelo thrash overmatched 168-pound belt holders like Billy Joe Saunders, Colin Smith, and Rocky Fielding, he looked a lot less comfortable against a equality contender in Ellis, right? It says, and then it goes on to talk about how Canelo was struggling against Ellis, and you know, basically they shitting on Canelo. They saying that finally he gets in there with a quality opponent that's bigger than him, like Ronald Ellis, the same fighter that David Benavidez, he just stopped. And they saying that, you know, he's exploiting Canelo in sparring. That's what they saying. So they take into this saying that he's exploiting Canelo. Well, in struggling in sparring. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I seen Canelo standing right in front of him, telling him to come on, let's go, give me all you got, and walking them down. I mean, I just see them working. Where I find that article is on Boxing News 24. It's an article on Boxing News 24 right here. There it is right there, right? So they're taking that little sparring footage and they shitting on Canelo, saying he was struggling, saying he getting his ass beat in sparring, saying, you know, that the other opponents that he been in the ring with, you know, they've been cherry picked, and now that he finally gets in there and sparring with somebody that's, you know, another good level opponent, that he's getting exploited. I don't see that. I didn't see that. They was just sparring. I didn't take nothing from that. You know, it's another footage. It's more footage. I think let me see. It's longer than that. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. Let me see. I'm gonna try to get some other footage on it. It's a little longer than what I showed y'all. Here it is right here. Let me take it to the top so y'all can see it. He jabbing Canelo. Canelo just working on his head movement. He moving around, sticking Canelo with the jab. Canelo, you know what I'm saying? He's just sparring him. They ain't even going all out like that. Canelo telling them, come on, let's go, come on. Uppercut. He hit Canelo with a couple hooks. Ooh. Canelo got hand speed, though. Canelo working on that little short overhand. Combinations. So that's what it is. So everybody taking that shit and they running with it, saying that Canelo was getting beat up in sparring. Canelo finally didn't met his match. Come on, man. Y'all need to cut it out with this bullshit. Y'all need to, you can clearly see that Canelo ain't even going full speed. They just sparring. They just working on stuff. Man, y'all need to cut it out with this shit. So with that little footage, right, I just showed y'all. Now they on Canelo's helmet talking about he getting the shit beat out of him in sparring. And then the article that I just read y'all. You know what I'm saying? They put a whole article out talking about how Canelo was getting worked in sparring. Off of that. Come on, y'all, you know, people, y'all need to cut it out with this bullshit. Y'all need to, do y'all really think that Ronald Ellis, right? Ronald Ellis, let me pull up Ronald Ellis's record again. Could fuck with Canelo Alverez. Like, come on, man. Miss me with that. Let me see Ronald Ellis. Let me pull up his resume. He just fought, like I said, he just fought it's the same dude that just fought David Benavidez. He fought David Benavidez. He beat Kobarov. So Ronald Ellis, he beat Kobarov. And if y'all don't know who Kobarov is, remember Kobarov was a replacement opponent for Jamal Charlo. And Kobarov gave Jamal Charlo a lot of problems, right? So he fought Kobarov in December. He fought Kobarov just this past December. Then he came back and he fought David Benavidez in March, but David Benavidez ended up stopping him. But I think David Benavidez stopped him in the 11th or the 12th round. He gave David Benavidez a hell of a fight, though. Before that, in 2019, early 2019, he had lost to somebody named DeAndre Ward. That was his last, well, before the David Benavidez fight, that was his last L he took. And then before that, he fought somebody that had a record of 32 and 22 losses. So let me see. He ain't never fought nobody. So besides Kobarov and David Benavidez, he never fought nobody really. And you know, he was virtually unknown. He's 18-2. So Ronald Ellis, the guy that Canelo Alverez is sparring, he's 18-2 with 12 KOs. And he's been stopped once, and that was by David Benavidez, and he lost another fight by majority decision. So, you know, he's a cool fighter on the come up, but come on, man. Y'all talking about Canelo was getting worked and struggling. And I want to see what y'all talking about in the comment section. Let me read some of y'all comments. Let me see. The verse conscious, he says, I got Canelo beating everyone, including the 275 pounders. Bud and Errol at 160 might be the only threat after we see them fight Pac-Man and Sean. So I'm gonna say this, man. Everybody know I'm going with Caleb Plant, but and I think it's gonna be a very tough fight for both fighters because Caleb Plant, I don't think he's gonna fold, and Caleb Plant is a difficult style matchup for Canelo Alverez and basically anybody, not just Canelo. Caleb can do it all. He can box. He can fight on the inside, on the outside. He's slick. He got good footwork. He got good head movement when he want to use it, and he has respectable power. But the only thing is he has brittle hands. So if his hands get hurt, he gonna be in for a long night, and he gonna be in for a very, very bad problem with Canelo. But if his hands can hold up, Canelo gonna have a problem on his hands. But to me, it's a 50-50 fight. It's a 50-50 fight because Canelo can fight his ass off. And everybody know that I got Canelo as my #1 pound-for-pound fighter. But I'm riding with Caleb Plant. It is what it is. Now, if Canelo gets past Caleb Plant and he beats Caleb Plant, I'm going to let y'all know. None of them dudes are beating Canelo. None of them. From 160 all the way up to 175, none of them are beating Canelo if he get past Caleb Plant. They can forget about it. They can forget about it. Because to me, Caleb Plant, the style that he brings is the most difficult matchup. I know a lot of people say David Benavidez is, but to me, David Benavidez is not. He's not a difficult style for Canelo because, yeah, he throw a lot of punches, but he don't got no defense. And fighting a guy with the power that Canelo carries, you got to have some defense. You got to have some defense because his punches are pinpoint accurate, and he gonna hurt you once he land on you. And you can't walk Canelo down like he does everybody else and just take shots and take shots. If you go back and watch David Benavidez when he fought Ronald Ellis, he was just walking Ronald Ellis down, taking shot after shot because he wasn't afraid of Ronald Ellis's power. Ronald Ellis don't pack no power like that. You see Ronald Ellis, he only got 18 fights and he got 12 KOs. But if you look at the guys that he's KO'd, they all bums. Like they all certified bums. They got records like 0-3, 0-2, 3-9, 6-6, 5-8, 0-1, 5-5, 32-22. And so everybody that Ronald Ellis ever knocked out, they was all bums. Like, you know what I'm saying? They barely had any fights on their professional records. They had, all of them had more losses than they had wins. So Ronald Ellis, he didn't have no power. So David Benavidez was able to walk him down and pretty much, you know, take shots and do whatever he wanted to do offensively. He's not going to be able to do that against Canelo. If he tries to do that with Canelo, he's going to find himself licking the canvas. Canelo's going to hurt Benavidez, and he's going to hurt him bad. So it's not a good matchup for Benavidez right now. And Benavidez knows that. That's why he said, like, you know, I'm not in a rush to fight Canelo. He says, you know, I'm still young. I still got plenty of time to get in the ring with Canelo. So y'all trying to rush David Benavidez in there with Canelo, you're going to get him hurt. So, you know, let me see what else y'all talking about, man. So I partly agree with you, Diverse Conscious. For real, I partly agree with what you're saying. Let me see what else y'all talking about. When Dale Jackson says it's hard to judge what Canelo is working on in the video, I know every fighter is working on something while sparring. Yeah, man, but people don't understand that. They just see, oh, he landed a couple shots. Oh, he got work. People just take that shit and run with it, man. Galvatron says that's like saying you're not supposed to get tackled in football practice. Exactly. You feel what I'm saying? Like, man, some people just be ignorant when it comes to watching boxing, don't know what they watching. Louis G says coach was telling Canelo to take some of those and getting specific guidance. Yeah, man, you working on things. People, oh, he's struggling. They work, man. I'm telling you, Boxing News 24 wrote a whole article on how Canelo Alverez was getting worked and was struggling in sparring. Big Money, Texas, Toledo in the building. What's happening with it? He says in that video, Eddie Reynoso tells Canelo in Spanish, Let him touch you a little. And begging, he says, in the begging on the sparring people are just haters. Yeah. Man, you know how it is, man. People don't understand, man. PLG Ski says they reaching. He just got hit a few times, but who knows? They might know some. Yeah, they might know something, man. They don't know nothing. They just running their mouth. That's all that is. It says the boxing writer's name on the article, man. Let me pull up that article again. It gives you, you know what I'm saying? I'll tell you what his name is on the article. Let me see. Hold on. Let me pull up that article again. Let me give y'all the boxing writer who wrote that, man. And like I said, I don't know, dude. No disrespect to him at all, but man, come on. You got to do better than that. Here it is right here. So, damn. The writer's name is, man, where's his name at? Sean Jones. Sean Jones is the writer's name. And like I said, no disrespect to him. You know, keep doing work, keep doing what you do. But man, that was crazy, you know, to make an article acting like, you know, he was just, the article was shitting on Canelo. That's what it was. You could tell dude don't really mess with Canelo like that. And he was reaching and he was shitting on Canelo in the article, saying that he finally getting exposed as soon as he fights somebody, you know, of a higher level and all of that. So man, it is what it is. You know, do what you do. But what's good with it? Pac-Man, ATL off in the building. What's happening with it, Tate? What's good with it? John Kramer said some straight bullshit. Yeah, man, it was. What it do, Batman? Batman says, nah, he was just getting touched a little bit, man. You know how sparring go, Batman. They just working on some shit. Yeah, man, but these dudes be funny, man. They be funny, man. They be funny. And make sure that y'all go sub to my man, Pac-Man ATL Tate. Make sure that y'all go sub to Tate Jones' channel, man. He be putting on some hot shows over there. His shit be popping. Yeah, so he was just working on stuff, man. He was working on shit, but, you know, they took that and they ran with it. They ran with it. What's good with it, Drew? Drew Titan off in the building. Make sure that y'all go sub to my brother, Drew Titan. The Druth in the building. Make sure that y'all go sub to Drew Titan. Always putting out that hot content, you know. So, man, I want to move on. Let's talk about this Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao. Let's talk about it. Because hey, I'm looking at all of the stuff that Freddie Roach been talking. Freddie Roach been talking a whole lot. And yeah, like the Queen Cassandra said, hit my like button. It don't cost you nothing to hit the like button. That's it. Just hit the like button. So Freddie Roach is coming out and he talking a whole lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? He talking a whole lot of shit. Talking about how they going to stop Errol Spence, how Errol Spence is flat-footed, how Manny Pacquiao is going to do this, and Manny Pacquiao is going to exploit all of the flaws that Errol Spence has in his game. He talking a lot. And he's saying that Manny Pacquiao looks a lot better than he did in the lead up to Keith Thurman. And he even says that this fight is going to be a lot easier for Manny Pacquiao than the Keith Thurman fight was. Because Freddie Roach says that Keith Thurman is a better fighter than Errol Spence. Now, I'm listening to all of the shit that Freddie Roach is saying. And I said, It sounds good, but ain't Freddie Roach the same guy that said before in the past that, oh, when Errol Spence's name came up, that he said that he told Manny Pacquiao not to fight Errol Spence, that Errol Spence was too much? Freddie Roach is on record in the past saying that he told Manny Pacquiao not to fight Errol Spence because he thought Errol Spence was too much. He didn't want Manny Pacquiao to fight Errol Spence. Errol Spence was too much and he was too much of a savage. He said that back when Errol Spence was first calling out Manny Pacquiao a couple years ago. Freddie Roach was the one that told Manny Pacquiao, nope, nope, don't get in the ring with Errol Spence. Nope, I don't want you getting in the ring with him, right? Now, all of a sudden, Errol Spence is going to get the shit beat out of him by Manny Pacquiao. And then he goes on to say that Errol Spence, right, they're going to fight Errol Spence the same exact way that they did Antonio Margarito, right? First of all, and they, like, it trips me out that they think that Errol Spence is flat-footed like Margarito was. Margarito didn't have no type of foot movement at all. Margarito was flat-footed, and he used plaster. He had plaster in his gloves to cheat, right? He ain't beat nobody fair and square. So how are you going to compare Errol the True Spence to Antonio Margarito? And see what Freddie Roach is doing? Freddie Roach is cashing a check for Manny Pacquiao. It is, you know what I'm saying? He's writing a check for Manny Pacquiao that he's not going to be able to cash. All he's doing is making Errol Spence hear these things, and Errol Spence is training harder and harder. He better shut up. He better shut up because he's going to get Manny Pacquiao ass hurt. Let me go through some of these comments real quick. My man Kurt Anderson is in the building. What's happening with it? Salute to the boxing historian Kurt Anderson in the building. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. PLG Ski says EJ jab will be the key to success. Yeah, man, I think so. I think so too. And they better stop acting like Errol Spence don't have no footwork. Errol Spence has footwork. He showed you that he could box. He showed you that he has head movement if he wants to. And he got a vicious jab. And he's going to hurt Manny Pacquiao to the body because Manny Pacquiao don't like it to the body like that. And he has great timing. Errol Spence, he don't waste no punches. He has great timing, and he's a precise sharpshooter. He's a precise sharpshooter. And he's active. He don't waste no punches, but he's still very active. And he goes, man, I'm telling you, Freddie Roach is talking all of that stuff, talking about they're going to do the same thing that they did to Antonio Margarito. They're going to fight him like they did Antonio Margarito. If you think that Manny Pacquiao can go in there and fight the same fight that he did against Antonio Margarito, you got to be losing your... See, Freddie Roach, you done lost your mind. We already know that you ain't got it all upstairs no more. You done lost your goddamn mind if you think that Manny Pacquiao is going to be able to go in the ring and fight Errol the True Spence like he did Antonio Margarito. Come on now. First of all, Manny Pacquiao is not the same fighter that he was 10, 11 years ago. When did that fight happen? 11 years ago. Manny Pacquiao is not the same fighter that he was 11 years ago. And he'll never be that same fighter that he was 11 years ago. Manny Pacquiao has slowed down a lot from what he did back then. You know, he slowed down a lot from what he was back then. Antonio Margarito is not the same fighter that Errol the True Spence is. Not even close to being the same fighter. We seen what Antonio Margarito did once they found out that he was cheating and putting plaster in his gloves. We seen what Antonio Margarito was. He was a zombie that had no footwork, that just walked straight forward and took punches. That's it. That's all. Like Batman say, that's it. That's all. He was a zombie that walked straight forward, that get hit, take punches, and get beat up. If you think that Errol the True Spence is the same fighter as Antonio Margarito, like I said, you done lost your goddamn mind. Freddie Roach, he talking too much. Freddie Roach is talking a lot, and he going to get Manny Pacquiao hurt. I'm telling y'all. If anybody think that Manny Pacquiao is going to beat Errol the True Spence, if anybody think Manny Pacquiao going to beat that nigga with the Shag, because that's what he's going to get. Errol Spence is already back training like he was when he was fighting before he fought Leonard Bondu and before he fought Chris Algieri. He doing 700 push-ups before his workout starts. And trust me, I've been on that 700 push-ups. I'm doing 700 push-ups in like 40 minutes now, you know, and it's hard. It ain't easy. You got to be on another level to be able to do shit like that. But he's doing it, and he doing the whole boxing training regimen after that. He started his workout with that shit. That ain't easy. Trust me, I know because I'm doing it. It ain't easy. And I'm telling you, he gonna hurt Manny Pacquiao because what Freddie Roach should have been doing in the media, he should have came out and he should have been saying things like, you know, well, Manny Pacquiao is not the same fighter. You know, we got to look over Manny Pacquiao and guide him differently because he is slowing down. He should have put those type of news in the media. And maybe Errol Spence would have heard that. And maybe Errol Spence would have, you know, took it a little easier in training. I'm not saying that he would have, but that would have been the smart thing to do, to play head games with Errol Spence. You don't want to piss him off and make him train harder, right? Make him think that he's going in the fight with the old Manny Pacquiao. Why would you want to do that, Freddie Roach? That's why I'm telling y'all, Freddie Roach is cashing a check that Manny Pacquiao is writing a check that Manny Pacquiao is not going to be able to cash. I'm telling you, this is not smart what Freddie Roach is doing. He's talking way too much. COVID-19, it says, why 700? Pac does 1,300 sit-ups in a day. Well, if that's what you think, those are not sit-ups that you see Pac-Man doing. Those are crunches. Like my man Blu-ray say, it's a difference between sit-ups and crunches. Even though, you know, 1,300, hey, that's a hell of a number. But it ain't the same thing as doing 700 push-ups before you start your workout. But, you know, I mean, you know, we're not trying to go tit for tat. I'm just saying. You got that nigga with the Shag back. That's what you asked for, and that's what you're going to get. If you think that Errol Spence is going to be the same fighter that you saw in the ring with Danny Garcia, you wrong. You very wrong. Errol Spence is going to be on a whole nother level. See, he was coming directly off a car accident after sitting out over a year when he fought Danny Garcia. This ain't the case. Now he has a nutritionist. He's training with his strength and conditioning coach again, and he's training to the max. Manny Pacquiao might get hurt because now you heard Blu-ray Fitness say that Errol Spence is back to the same strength that he had when he was fighting Chris Algieri and those guys. His strength game is back up to where it used to be. You see what I'm saying? You weren't seeing that Errol Spence in the last 3 fights that you saw. You didn't see that same Errol Spence. Now you're going to see the same Errol Spence. And Manny Pacquiao, he got a problem on his hands. Even though I like Manny Pacquiao as a fighter, but Manny Pacquiao has a problem on his hands come the 21st of August. Less than a month away. We less than a month away, and Manny Pacquiao got a serious problem on his hands. John Kramer said Freddie Roach trying to set Pacquiao up. He trying to have Pacquiao with Parkinson's disease like him. Damn, man, you crazy, man. I ain't gonna be. You crazy, man. You crazy as hell, John, man. You wrong for that one. He say that guy says he talked a lot prior to the Horn fight too. Well, Pacquiao, he did his thing against Horn. You know, Horn tried to bully him, but everybody know that Pacquiao really beat Horn ass. Man, but it's gonna be bad for Manny Pacquiao. It's gonna be bad for Manny Pacquiao. I'm looking for Errol Spence to either stop Manny Pacquiao or beat Manny Pacquiao by unanimous decision. Because once the fight starts slowing down, right, and Manny Pacquiao starts slowing down, Errol Spence is not gonna slow down. You see what I'm saying? And it's going to get real bad for Manny Pacquiao. I'm going to tell y'all like this. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao looked great against Keith Thurman. But if you go back to Manny Pacquiao's previous fights, when Manny Pacquiao fought Lucas Matisse, Manny Pacquiao looked slow in that fight. Even though he made Lucas Matisse quit, Lucas Matisse was a shell of himself. Manny Pacquiao looks, go back and watch that Lucas Matisse and Manny Pacquiao fight. He wasn't as active as he usually is, and he looked a lot slower. Then go back and look at the Adrian Broner fight. Adrian Broner wasn't trying to fight. All AB was doing, AB was in survival mode against Manny Pacquiao. And Manny Pacquiao looked, he looked a lot slower in the fight with Adrian Broner, even though he made Adrian Broner go into survival mode. But we know that Adrian Broner shouldn't have been in the ring with Manny Pacquiao because all he was doing was trying to survive. But Manny Pacquiao wasn't the same Manny Pacquiao in that fight. He actually missed a lot of shots. He threw a lot, but he was AB was making him miss a lot of shots. He just wasn't making Manny Pacquiao pay like he should have. And then we go to the Keith Thurman fight. You know, Manny Pacquiao slowed down a lot in that Keith Thurman fight. A lot. But see, the difference between in that Keith Thurman fight is Manny Pacquiao did something early on. He knocked down Keith Thurman early on in that fight, and he let Keith Thurman know, you ain't going to just come up in here with no shit, right? And then he hurt Keith Thurman to the body later on. When Keith Thurman was really coming on strong later on in that fight, he hurt Keith Thurman to the body. But he was able to do that to Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman has always been susceptible to body shots. Keith Thurman, his weak spot is his body. And Manny Pacquiao exploited that. See, when you go in the ring against Errol Spence, you can exploit that against Errol Spence because he don't have no weakness in his chin or his body. Errol Spence don't have no weakness in his chin or his body. And when you hit Errol Spence, he's going to smile and laugh at you. And he's going to keep coming. Keith Thurman wasn't that. When you hit Keith Thurman in the body, he curled over and he tried to run from you. Two different men. Two different stylistic matchups. If anybody want any smoke and you think that Manny Pacquiao is going to win, holler at me. I'm here. Because I'm telling you right now, all of the shit that Freddie Roach is talking, he's going to get Manny Pacquiao hurt. Manny Pacquiao, to me, prime for prime, Manny Pacquiao in his prime could not beat Errol Spence at his best. No version of Manny Pacquiao could beat Errol Spence. And that's just what it is. I was wrong. I thought that Keith Thurman was going to beat Manny Pacquiao. I was wrong, though, right? I was wrong with my Keith Thurman prediction. But this time, I'm letting y'all know. I remember it just like it was yesterday because I lost a lot of money betting on Keith Thurman. But Vegas, I'm coming back to get my shit back. I want my shit back. I want every penny. I'm coming back to get every penny. Because, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got me with that Keith Thurman shit. But Errol Spence, the truth. He going to show why y'all calling him the truth. And I'm coming back to get every penny. August the 21st, we will be back to Vegas to get every penny. Let's go. Let's go. Manny Pacquiao, I got much love for you, Manny Pacquiao. You're a hell of a fighter. But, hey, Manny Pacquiao, on August the 21st, you will meet your fate. You know, you had a great career, and you will go down as one of the greatest fighters to ever live. It's already cemented in the history books. But, hey, you know, you thinking that you got something for Errol Spence, and a lot of people, even professional fighters, a lot of the professionals are picking Manny Pacquiao. They think that Errol Spence is done. They think they're going to get the same Errol Spence in the ring that they saw when he got in there with Danny Garcia. Yeah, Errol Spence wasn't all the way right when he got in there with Danny Garcia. He was missing shots that, you know, you usually wouldn't see him miss. He gassed out in the end. He gassed out against Danny Garcia, but you ain't going to see that. Him performing like he did against Danny Garcia, even though he beat Danny Garcia, To me, I had it like 8 rounds to 4. So he beat Danny Garcia pretty comfortably, even though he won the fight unanimously. The only thing is that it was great that he had a performance where he, you know, in certain spots, he was able to see like, man, I just can't pull the trigger and do certain things that I'm used to doing. It was great that he got to, you know, brush off the rust against Danny Garcia. He was able to brush off that rust. And he was able to see like, hey, okay, I got to really get back to that nigga with the Shag shit. You know what I'm saying? I got to get back to the old EJ, that nigga with the Shag, and I got to go in all the way. I got to get Blu-ray back. I got to get a nutritionist, and I got to stop playing with this boxing shit. I got to go all the way in. And you woke up a motherfucking monster. You know what I'm saying? You woke up that nigga that was walking in the ring, picking that Shag out. You woke up him. You woke him up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you woke up that nigga with the Shag. And y'all, you know, it's going to be a bad night for Manny Pacquiao. It's going to be bad for Manny Pacquiao. And I want every dime that I lost with Keith Thurman, I want it all back. Let's go. I want it back. I can't wait. Let me know in the comment section too, who going to the fight? Let me know who going to the fight. We didn't get Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, but Manny Pacquiao is a real one, and he ain't gonna pull no bitch shit like Tyson Fury did. Who going to the fight? EJ88 says Errol stopping Pac-Man. He says no question. He says if he that Errol with that Shag, if he that nigga with the Shag, he's stopping him. I feel you, dog. John Kramer says yeah, because he comes in trying to run combos off Spence going to his body. Going to his body, you know what I'm saying? Like Roy Jones said, take it to the body. You know what I'm saying? If y'all know that Roy Jones song, take it to the body. For real talk. Hank Daniels, what's happening with it? Salute. He says, I know my man's Errol is ready. Man, he more than ready. You dig? R. West says, Freddie even said Pac doesn't have the power to KO Spence, and that needs, he says that knee must not get hit by Spence. Yeah, but now he's trying to change his words, dog. He talking a whole bunch of shit now. And I know, you know, Freddie Roach trying to hype it up, but man, you writing a check that Manny Pacquiao ass cannot cash. I want my shit back in blood, every penny. And I want some on top of that. I want every penny back plus some. Yes, Zoo says money is gonna give him he says Manny is gonna give him that work. Hey, I bet you ain't gonna bet on it. I bet you ain't gonna bet on it. Yes, Zoo says Spence best win were against two guys that got beat by Thurman. Who was that? Because to me, his best wins were, one of them was when he went over there to England and stopped Kell Brook. That was one of them. You know what I'm saying? And don't forget, right? You talking about two guys that got beat by Thurman. What happened when Keith Thurman fought Leonard Bondu? Leonard Bondu touched Keith Thurman up in his prime when he was still one time. And then what did Errol Spence do to Leonard Bondu? Knocked him clean out. Matter of fact, he knocked him through the ropes. Don't forget about that. Cassandra Mason says, that's right. Get your shit back. Earl, the truth shall set you free. Yes, sir. I didn't have to wait over 2 years to go get my shit back, and now I want it all back. Diverse Conscience says, I'm putting 5 racks on that fight for Errol. I'm contemplating 10. Yep, that's what I'm putting on. I'm putting that second number on it. Let's go, man. I need all my shit back for real. I need all my money back. Man, Keith Thurman did me dirty. We coming to get it back. Keith Thurman wanted to overlook Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? He looked over Manny Pacquiao, was playing with his food. He played with his food. You know what I'm saying? He had a gourmet meal right in front of him, and he played with his food. You see what I'm saying? He waited till his food got cold, and you know, then he's sitting at the table like a little kid, and he don't want to eat the food. Once the food got cold, You don't want to eat it no more. That shit don't taste the same. And once the food, that's what he did. He played with his food and waited till it got cold, and he slept on Manny Pacquiao. And then Manny Pacquiao got in the ring and almost slept his ass. Yep, John Kramer says Errol got too much to lose. He had to get his shit together. Right. John Kramer in the building. Okay, you gonna be in the building. Hell yeah, man. We gonna have to link up. He said he's definitely gonna be in the building for that fight. Who else gonna be in the building for that fight? Mark Shu says Manny always making excuses when he loses. Wonder what it's gonna be this time. I don't know. Maybe this time he just say, "Hey, man, he was the better man. He was the better man, and you know, it's about my time to go." Yep. Dogs don't play with their food. Earn Incorporated say dogs do not play with, they don't play with their food. And Errol Spence is the dog, the biggest dog of them all. You know what I'm saying? He the biggest dog of them all. They need to call him the big dog instead of the big fish. Ari says, don't sleep on Manny. Is there for he says, is there for unify in history at 43 years old. I'm not sleeping on Manny. See, that's the thing. Ain't nobody sleeping on Manny no more, right? And the problem is Errol Spence is not sleeping on Manny like Keith Thurman did. That's the problem. He wide awoke. Errol Spence is wide awoke, and he coming after Manny. See, he not sleeping on him. See, it might be good for Manny Pacquiao if Errol Spence were to sleep on him. We ain't none of us sleeping on Manny Pacquiao. We know what Manny Pacquiao brings to the table now. Ruben Gutierrez says Errol Spence gonna catch an eye jamming. Well, like I said, man, if you really believe that, put your money where your mouth is. John Kramer says, he said you won't be surprised if Errol has Pacquiao on the back foot most of the fight. It's gonna take Errol Spence probably like 2-3 rounds max to figure out Manny Pacquiao, and once he figure him out, it's gonna be a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Diverse Conscious says, y'all got me thinking about coming to Vegas. Damn, I'll give you an answer tomorrow. Man, I'm telling you, me, Money Brown gonna be out there with me. We gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's finna be lit. Let's get it popping. You know, I can't miss this one. Especially after, you know, Tyson Fury pulled that fuck shit that he did. And they need to give me my money back for them Fury Wilder tickets. They need to give me my bread back and quit playing. See, Ruben Gutierrez, Manny Pacquiao is not as quick as he used to be. If you go watch his fights, he don't do everything that he used to. It's not the same like he used to. Nah, it's not that I'm counting Manny out. It's that I know, like I told y'all, I said this, right? And I've been saying this. Manny Pacquiao in his prime cannot beat Errol the True Spence at his best. I don't think no version of Manny Pacquiao can beat Errol Spence at his best. That's just not a good stylistic matchup for Manny Pacquiao. It's not. It's not a good stylistic matchup for Manny Pacquiao. You feel me? I'm not just saying because Manny Pacquiao is 43 years old. If Manny Pacquiao was 32 years old, I don't think that he could beat that nigga with the Shag. The best version of Errol Spence, because I really believe we're going to see the best version of Errol Spence. The guy that we saw fighting Kell Brook and Chris Algieri and Leonard Bundu. That's the version of Errol Spence we're going to see. But we might even see an even better version because now he's seasoned. He's seasoned. His ring IQ is better than it was back then. He's smart. He's been under the big lights back then. So he probably even more dangerous than he is now than he was back then. You know, John Kramer said Pac-Man a sucker for the jab. Yeah, man. And Errol gonna keep that jab in his face all night. He's gonna stop. See, y'all, all of that movement that Manny Pacquiao do, right? All that do. Errol Spence is going to nullify all of that with that jab a long, stiff, hard jab. And then he's going to nullify all of that stuff and slow Manny Pacquiao down with his relentless body work. And like I said, Manny Pacquiao is going to be on that back foot. And before the night is over, Manny Pacquiao is going to be in survival mode. If Manny Pacquiao try to go toe-to-toe and he don't go in, if Manny Pacquiao tries to go toe-to-toe and he doesn't go into survival mode against Errol Spence, he going to get stopped. He going to get stopped. I see it's going to be a rough night. Now, he is going to give Errol Spence some problems here and there, but overall, it's going to be a rough night for Manny Pacquiao. B-Dog says they think fighting him like Margarito is going to work, but I doubt it. It ain't going to work. He's not the same fight. That was a silly statement by Freddie Roach because Errol Spence is not the same fighter as Antonio Margarito. Come on now. You've seen Errol Spence is athletic. He can move. Antonio Margarito wasn't no athletic fighter. He was a pure fighter that was going to stand right in front of you and walk you down and not do nothing. He was just going to walk you down and take punishment all night. He was going to give it to you and he was going to take a lot. He was going to give it to take some, give it to take some. Errol Spence don't fight like that. That's the perception that people have of Errol Spence because he a dog. He don't fight like that. Y'all got to be losing your damn mind if you compare him to Antonio Margarito. Hey, dude says so because he has a shag. You think he's gonna win? That's not how boxing works. Hey, I had to laugh at that shit myself. You don't even get what I'm saying, but you know, he said because he got a shag, you think he gonna win. Hey, that's funny as hell, man. Oh shit. John Kramer said Pacquiao fought. He said that Pacquiao fought Margarito was on that Sunny D. If you know what I mean, man, we know what it was back then. We know what it was, but I ain't even gonna talk about that. Elliot Burgess says EJ didn't get kicked out of Floyd Mayweather gym for nothing. You right, man, for real, fucking right. You feel me? They gonna get that old EJ back. That nigga with the shag. They gonna get that nigga with the shag back. Hey, that shit was funny as hell, man. Oh man, that was funny, man. But salute to you though, man. Salute to Yazoo. Salute to you because like I said, man, I don't have no problem with nobody going for Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is a legend. He's a hell of a fighter. A lot of professional fighters, they going with Manny Pacquiao. They don't think that Errol Spence has what it takes to beat Manny Pacquiao. And a lot of fighters, right, when you hear them, break down the fight, they're going off of what they seen Errol Spence do in the Danny Garcia fight. Hey, you're not finna see the same Errol Spence. You gonna see that nigga with the shag, right? You gonna see the nigga with the shag. Cool says the difference in EJ and Porter fight was the knockdown. A prime pack gets him. Nah. Okay, cool. Do you think that Errol Spence was the same fighter in that Sean Porter fight that he was when he fought Kell Brook? Do you think he was the same fighter that he was when he fought Kell Brook? And let me see something. Let me show y'all something, right? I'm going to just do this, right? I'm going to do this. Bear with me, y'all, real quick. hey, I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm gonna put that shit to rest, right? Hold on. I don't want to laugh, but this shit kind of funny though. So first is Errol Spence, right? This is the weigh-in when he fought Kell Brook. That's the nigga with the shag, even though he ain't had no shag no more. That's the nigga with the shag. Look at that. Look at the picture. That's the weigh-in when he fought Kell Brook, right? So I'm asking y'all. I'm not asking you you can go with that Kell Brook was a broken fighter and all of that bullshit you want to talk all you want to, right? But I'm asking you, was Errol Spence when he fought Sean Porter, do you think he was the same fighter that he was when he fought Kell Brook? So this is the Kell Brook, right? The weigh-in at Kell Brook. You see it, right? Now, I'm going to show y'all what he looked like when he fought Sean Porter. Let me. Come on, man. That's Sean Porter. That's what he looked like when he fought Sean Porter. Look at this. You know what that is? You know what these two pictures is? When he fought, that's this right here, right? This picture right here. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what these pictures is. This right here is when the nigga first get out the pen. You know what I'm saying? This right here is when the nigga first get out the pen. That's I just got out the pen. I just got out the penitentiary. Doing 6 years, right? I just got out the penitentiary doing 6 years. And then this is the nigga that's in the streets and shit. He ain't hit a gym since he left the penitentiary. That's what that is. That's what y'all see. Two different bodies, two different fight. I mean, it's the same fighter, right? But Errol Spence, when he went in there against Sean Porter, he was a shell of himself. And he still was good enough to beat Sean Porter. So now what you think he gonna do to Manny Pacquiao when he back to that old nigga with the shag? Come on now. You know what I'm saying? That's what that was. The first picture was, I just got out the penitentiary. The last picture, the second picture was, yeah, I've been out the pen for about 6 months and I ain't did shit since I left that bitch. That's what that is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Niggas be coming out the pen, swole as hell and shit. You see them 6 months down the line, they done lost everything they gained in the pen. That shit just holding on by a thread. Hey, y'all know I'm telling the truth, man. That's what that shit is, man. Errol Spence is back, man. He back. And if you able to beat a Sean Porter, right, being a shell of yourself, and I'm not saying that he was just shot or nothing like that, but I'm saying he wasn't near on the same level as he was when he was fighting, you know, the Leonard Bundus and the Kell Brooks. Y'all better be afraid. Y'all got a lot to be afraid of, because if y'all root for Manny Pacquiao, I don't have no problem with that. Like I said, I like Manny Pacquiao. I love Manny Pacquiao. But this fight, it ain't it. It ain't gonna be it for him. Cool says, I'm not saying Pac wins, but in his prime, my money is on Pac. Nah, because man, I couldn't pick Manny Pacquiao in his prime either. You got to look at the stylistic matchup. Now, it will be a much closer fight in his prime, but stylistically, that's never been a good stylistic matchup for Manny Pacquiao. He's always had trouble with the type of fighter that Errol Spence is. Elliot Burgess says EJ fought Porter and beat him at his own game. He could have beaten Porter with movement, but he wasn't going to do that. Come on, man. Well, I think I agree with you some, and then some. I say that Sean Porter, he makes you fight his fighting style. You know what I'm saying? Sean Porter makes you fight his fighting style. But if Errol Spence had been that same dude that was in there with Leonard Bundus and Chris Algieri in Kell Brook, he would have been too strong, right? He would have been too strong for Shawn Porter to fight him like that. Because you got to understand, Errol Spence, back then, he was strong as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shawn Porter wouldn't have been able to push him back on the inside and turn him like that and do all of the things that he was doing in that fight. Because Errol Spence would have been too strong. The difference in that fight was the pop that Errol Spence didn't have on his shots and the power, physical power that he didn't have. He was still strong, but he wasn't near as strong as he was back then. But see, now he got all that back. But y'all seen the photos. That's why I made that photo comparison to show y'all that Shawn Porter in the Errol Spence that y'all have been seeing, it ain't the same Errol Spence that you saw, you know, prior to the, you know, I mean, up until what? The fight with who did he fight? The Mexican kid that he fought for the mandatory. What was his name? Campos. You know what I'm saying? Prior to the Carlos Ocampos fight. You dig? Ruben Gutierrez says, what do I know about the guerrilla warfare? You talking about the Hot Boys second album? I know Guerrilla Warfare, the album, the Hot Boys second album, if that's what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. KP from KC5, what's happening with it? He says, no fighter has been able to move on Porter. None gonna happen. His feet are too good. Yeah, you got a point. And Porter got their feet, man. Porter got very educated feet. But, you know, anyway, everybody that's still in the building, you know, smash on my like button. Make sure that you hit my like button. Another great show. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow for another one. Like I said, smash on the like button and join me tomorrow. Y'all already know how I do. Salute everybody. I appreciate everybody for coming in. And that's it. I'm going to get up out of here, y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. And we got a lot to talk about in the future, and we got a lot to look ahead to. And y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again. And I'm gone.